Okay, so calling to order Ecology Advisory Board meeting, Village of Biscayne Park on December 9th, 2021. And roll call, Kate Davis.
Present. Present.
Alexander Madeja. He's not here. Daniela Carbonera.
Presente.
William Aitken. Right. We'll have to fix your spelling because they put Daniela. So. And the meeting minutes from last time, that's not here either, so we'll need to just do that next time, approving the meeting minutes from the previous meeting. So let's see. I'll let Daniela actually, are you ready? If you're not ready, I'll do my, okay. There should be. Ours are here. Okay, so yeah, the mayor's climate action pledge that was actually ratified by the commission at the last meeting. If you all remember, that was just a pledge with the Southeast Florida Regional Climate Compact, basically making a statement that the village is going to take into account the effects of climate change and any of the actions that we're doing. So it's kind of a general statement. It's pretty much been signed on by all of the surrounding community. So it's a good thing that we're part of that. And let's see, the weatherization grants. I was actually going to have a guest speaker come in for that, but since we had to change the schedule, wasn't able to do that. So we'll probably do that at the next meeting. But actually, it brings me, well, we'll talk about it after in the infrastructure bill part. So yeah, so the infrastructure bill, I talked to the village manager about it. It's kind of still very new right now. They don't really know how those funds are going to flow to the state, and then the state is going to distribute those funds. We have the Resilient Florida, I believe it was $500 million that was passed by the Senate last year, and so probably those funds will go in that direction. And we'll have to see how that's applicable to anything that we want to do in the village. One of them that I think would be great is if we can use some of that money for solar, and Daniela will be able to talk a little bit about that. And probably maybe if we can do some bioswales or some kind of flood mitigation, that's another thing that we might be able to consider. It kind of depends on, we don't really know too much about it yet. The manager doesn't know too much about it yet. So not too many details there yet. And let's see, what else is there? Does anybody else have anything before Daniela goes his part of it?
What was the weatherization grant?
So the weatherization grant, that's basically a grant that's available through the county, but it comes from federal money. The county manages it, and it's for low-income communities, well, low-income households, to be able to do things like insulating the attic or getting, I think it includes actually storm windows, which also increase efficiency. And I'm not 100% sure everything that it includes, but that's why I wanted to have this guest speaker come in, because it's also the threshold for it. I wasn't 100% clear on how that works. I mean, it's income based, but it's also, it's not like the easiest process to apply for it. So I wanted to make sure that members in our community that might be able to get one of those grants know about it and also have help applying for it, because a lot of times these grants are just, they're not very easy to apply for. The process is kind of convoluted and you have to submit, kind of excessive paperwork. So the person that I'm going to be inviting is actually, she works for like an environmental justice group that can assist with that kind of effort of applying for those grants and just making people aware that those grants exist. Yes, the password.
So one of the things I know that we had talked about previously was, I don't know, I know one of us was supposed to go to the commission meeting to talk about getting involvement from the commission. And my thoughts are is we're here, but there's not one commission. I mean, Matt did in the beginning, but we haven't been utilized.
Yeah.
So how can we get the commission more involved and more on a green path and use our resources that we're here for?
Yeah.
I mean, all the effort that's happening environmentally or pro-environment or from your efforts right now, getting them involved. So I don't know how we make them more green or more into sustainability for this community, but also for perspective that we're here to help them.
Yeah.
For instance, I saw on the agenda, or sorry, there's a special meeting on Saturday. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. Exactly. So there's a meeting on Saturday here. I think it's at 10 a.m.
Mhm.
I don't remember. There's two items on the meeting. I don't know. I forgot what the first one is, but one of them is about, you know, count of looking into the village ability to provide stricter standards on tree.
Mhm.
I guess it's not stricter standard. It may just be, probably what it is probably more of a zoning thing. Maybe, requiring more tree planting or having a zoning requirement for tree plantings or something like that.
Oh, I'm looking at that right now. Yeah. It's on the it's on the
Quite
calendar.
sure what it is, but that's something that we could totally be involved in, but
Yeah.
there seems to be not a lot of communication. So I'm gonna look at it and see what that's about to see if there's anything that we can assist with. But
I mean, if you can be there, I mean, definitely that
yeah,
looks like
definitely gonna try to be there. But
that looks like something that's a yeah. I mean, they did talk about it sort of from what I remember, because I know actually one of the other boards brought it up, and Mario, the village manager, did express that he was going to try and be more proactive on that. He has like tons of things on his plate too. So
yeah,
I hate to say it, but I think it's kind of like up to us. Like we basically just have to like be very as proactive as within reason that we can, given our time constraints, and just try to make the most out of when obviously if we can be at the commission meetings, that's huge, because that's the biggest platform that we have. When we give our I wasn't able to make it to the last one, when we give our the updates, the board updates, and then they'll engage with whoever's speaking at that moment, and they can ask questions and we can ask questions to them. And I think it's just a matter of us at this point we have to do it. We have to keep in touch with them, and just keep them in the loop. And I just don't, at least right now, I don't think it's realistic that we're going to be like, this is, maybe it kind of seems obvious to us, but I don't know if it's not necessarily top of mind for for the commissioners or for Mario to like bring us in on that conversation. So we kind of just have to be proactive and aware of what's happening. And I didn't know anything about this, so I'm glad that you're bringing it up, because I know we talked about it when I was on planning and zoning board, and it's really important. It's actually really important, because it's, if I'm reading correctly, what they're going to be talking about is something that's related to our actual zoning code, which is basically going to have a legal impact. So I don't know. I would have to read through this to see exactly what it is, but
I don't know what it is either, but definitely something that we have the ability to provide comments on.
Yeah.
Be involved in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what the other topic was. Is it
Yeah, let's see. So it's actually a town hall. Potential code changes addressing oversized development
Oh, yeah, that was it.
and village landscape ordinance. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a really important meeting. If they sent an email about it, I missed it. But yeah, village tree replacement regulations, tree protection and preservation, Miami-Dade code. Yeah. If anybody here can go, I mean, I'll try to go too. 10 a.m. That's an important one. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go as
okay.
well.
Here, hold on.
No, I have no computer, no access to internet. The document,
But I can open up what you.
no, if you can open, I can talk about that.
Really, one other thing why you guys do that is to bring to your attention, kind of going into that sense of trying to get involved is on my street, and it just happened that the only reason I know about it is because it was on my street. There was some kind of people were a neighbor or resident was cutting down a tree, and they had the tree company out there, and they had this big truck with a boom lift and whatnot. It's a huge hydraulic spill, like something burst, and there was hydraulic fluid all over the streets, all over in people's yards.
Wow.
I mean, there was hydraulic fluid like this standing in the soil. They were just sitting there. I happened to be walking my dogs, and the guy's like, "Oh, watch out! There's all this oil here." And so I turned around, but then as I looped around, there's cars driving through it.
Oh my gosh.
The whole street is stained. So I just was like, okay. So I called, I messaged Mac, and first of all, I messaged Mario and the clerk, and that there's
Oil spill?
contamination disaster happening on our street right now. First of all, you should shut down the street because people are driving through it and tracking it everywhere. And I kind of gave a breakdown of what needs to happen. Like, the contractor needs to be held responsible.
Oh, yeah.
For cleanup. The soil, first of all, stop. The cleanup needs to happen. It's going into the soil. It's gonna.
When did that happen?
This was probably like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and so I never heard back from anyone on it other than Mac, just saying, thanks. I've reached out to the manager and whatnot. So I have no idea what happened. I mean, they were there till late at night trying to get the truck repaired, and the road was shut down. And I don't know, like, it still reeks of hydraulic fluid over there, and the road's still all stained, and saw that they threw down some peat rock on the neighbor property. These are situations like this, is that I'm saying we're here, could have easily called and said, what do we need to do? I didn't call Durham because I thought that if they wanted to, that the manager would be doing that.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow up with them and see what happened. I recently heard from Mac, and the homeowner he said, do you mind if the homeowner calls me to get guidance, because she wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I don't quite know what that means, because it's the truck driver's responsibility, or the company,
Of course.
responsibility to do the remediation, and the remediation is to remove that. Sorry, my back. It's to remove that soil and remove the contaminants from the soil, where it's leaching into our groundwater. It's in our soils. I don't know what ever happened, but situations like this, I'm happy to provide guidance. So I guess I just need to make that aware to the manager, following up with our conversation that I just brought up earlier. Situation like this, this happened here, but it could be happening, little things like this could be happening anywhere.
Yeah.
There was the police intervening. Police.
They were there to shut down the road to make so that traffic wasn't going through. But I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to take it upon myself, just because I want to see this remediated and cleaned up and followed through with. So I'll reach out to Mario and see what happened, and if anything, if they're kind of not knowing what to do, we could still call Durham, and Durham could pass on their code, because I don't think they have any type of code other than probably sanitary nuisance, that they could do that and follow through with that company, but Durham can follow through with the correct measurements.
Yeah, Durham, do they have like a hotline or something like that?
Yeah, they have a hotline. I was gonna call them, but I wanted to start with our people first, and then I don't know if they did call Durham.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It's still like it's kind of still a mess when you walk by. Still smell. Like,
Yeah, they're definitely responsible for that. They have to remediate that for sure.
yeah,
And that's like major thing. Like, would they have to like dig up topsoil and things like
yeah,
that, right?
exactly, and dispose of it. A landfill that would take that type of material. I mean, I don't know what kind of fluid it was that leaked. I don't know how
Usually,
bad it
if
is.
it's hydraulic oil, is highly corrosive. So it's like the brake oil you have in the car. It's a oil to resist to high compression and things. So it's not even like the lube oil of the car is dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I would assume that. Things like this, I would, I guess I could, when I reach out tomorrow and say, hey, I'm here, and we all are here, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to provide assistance and actions that need and steps that need to be made. I mean, I'm not a contamination specialist, but it's in my field, and I know
Yeah.
steps need to happen. I can't like do the sampling and provide guidance and stuff like that on it.
Yeah.
I know what steps need to be happening, and I know, who to contact, what needs to happen to provide them that. So I hope that it was handled correctly. I don't know, but I wanted to bring it up today so you guys know, like,
Yeah.
I saw this and it's happening, and that hopefully that from this we can learn a lesson, and that we can have like protocols in place that if this happens, that that the manager and whoever else, the clerk or whoever, what has to happen.
Yeah.
What to do next.
Yeah. I mean, if we could propose to them to have some kind of like a hotline email or something like that that's related to environmental risks or something like that. Or I mean, you can always call too, but something that just kind of help them keep those things organized in one mailbox.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would say, judging from that experience, it might just be better to just call Durham directly.
I think so. Yeah, let's call. But here's the number to call.
That's probably actually, yeah. I didn't even know about that hotline. I was on a sustainability call with the county, and they were talking about that hotline. I knew nothing about it, so that's something that hopefully they get that website up and running soon, so we can have that
Yeah.
just like posted.
I mean, it's good number. I mean, it's 24/7. So
Yeah.
anytime of the day.
What is the email and phone number? You know, off the top of your head?
Like I usually have tons of stuff in my phone. It's 305
Mhm.
372
Mhm.
6955 is the Durham complaint desk.
Oh, I see it here. Yeah. NVTL complaints at miamidade.gov. Okay. Yeah, I would probably just contact them directly. So, all right. So I have here. I think the clerk actually had sent this to me too. Geronimo sent.
4-5, right?
Yeah, I think so. So y'all probably remember what we had asked Daniela to look into was doing the looking at solar within the village and looking at some of the buildings in the village and finding out, just getting some initial ideas of what we could do from that perspective.
So, summarizing, I was in contact with Jerome Pizarro. He's doing this for working, so his activity. And we start a feasibility study based on the public building in Biscayne Park. Counting there is for the public administration, there is not a tax return, so there is not this incentive, but we would like to ask to Mario if now also with this new bill pass from sustainability thing, maybe something for the public administration. As well, I was surfing it a bit in Miami-Dade and Florida website. I believe even in the governmental or local thing, there is some support about that. So it may be some way to kind of manage the expense or manage the investment. So I have maybe some loan mortgage kind of facilitate, like is for the private people. I just complete my system and I have like 1.9% APR thing. So a lot of good benefit. The system is working fine. So we took two building. We check the last average of FPL billing, comparing, I think, 1 year range. So we have an idea, and then prepare a kind of really conservative approach. So like the worst case scenario, in case we don't really have nothing back, what is the ROI? So it's around 13, 14 years as investment. And another key parameter should be about if Biscayne Park now is paying for each building a separate FPL bill, but in reality is one entity. So if it will be possible to be recognized as one entity for FPL, because in that case, it may be even worth to invest in one location installation to be more profitable, because as work for FPL today, there is a kind of electricity consumed, electricity produced, and this create positive credit. So usually what you do in the private sector and thing, you try to do a balance to cover your 100% of consumption. So between day and night, you should be going to balance zero. We did this for one of the building. The main building here in the office doesn't offer this kind of total surface for the roof. There is possibility to expansion. Could be also an idea to make a coverage of the parking lot with solar panel. Even thinking how much and the government, I think we will push for the electric car. So to have a sustainable way to recharge even an electric car with one day the police or the things, it may be an added value. What has been considered was, I think, the name of this building.
This building here you're talking about?
No, where there is the
Work center.
yes. So it's the most suitable one. It's a flat roof with a lot of surface, and this in case Biscayne Park can achieve the commonality of bill, it may be worth one day to go for a kind of solar system, solar power center, because at that point it will overproduce, is really exposed, is the best position, there is no recovering and things. They can produce enough credit to build, to cover all the building in that building and cover also the office and thing, all the other building, because I believe Biscayne Park have 3-4 main utility. But like this one is untouchable, is historic and thing. But having this kind of FPL allowing to have one name, it will be possible to play a kind of investment and return of investment to cover the entire bill. This will be the idea, because certain location offer a higher flexibility on that, and is economically is convenient. Go maybe sometime to another side. The only thing now, just to see if can be an interest, the Geronimo was also suggesting to go for some smaller size project, because also the investment is not so huge. One thing is invest for 30,000, 40,000, 60,000. One thing is 150, 200,000. You have a different approval level. So now the two projects presenting here is one for the park, one for the office here in front. For the office, there is kind of two coverage. One is the most efficient one, so having the part of the roof looking at south. The other is a little bit more extended, having also the north part is less efficient for that side, but you are covering more on the electrical side, so the return on investment a little bit faster. The thing we have to consider also is like how much FPL is rising the cost of the kilowatt per year. And looking at the bill and things, we are around, we took a small one, but it's around 6-7%. So doing this projection, how much we are consuming today, projecting for the next year, putting the cost of the solar, absorbing a certain point at the breaking point, when we are like year 13 or 14, we pay the entire system, paying the bill of things, and we start making money. So you start having some return, like $200,000-$300,000 coming back. So besides to be sustainable, can be also a kind of positive gain, yeah, when this is done, because the lifetime of a solar system is calculated always around 30 years. There is no limitation for the warranty, the insurance of the roof and things. So, and looking out is the trend of the cost of the energy, I think is one of the most interesting projection investment. Yeah. So if you want to see, first one is about the main office, and this is the coverage of the most efficient one. So it's less panel. The system costs around $49,000, and the saving projected over 20 years, $22,000. There is a way where you are looking the consumption and the bill cost. I believe with this system, that's the most efficient on the calculation. Let me go for the Excel where it's a little bit clearer, the calculation here. Is a 16.4 kilowatt. So at the year 14 is the payoff, and then you start saving. So going to, in the third year, going to save $150,000. Looking what can be the bill, right, in that period. But with this first coverage of 16%, 16.4 kilowatt is only 57% of the electrical demand. So that means we pay less, but it's make anyway longer to recover because still we are paying FPL. The point is paying less and having solar sustainable, one part of the kilowatt, we pay fixed rate. The other one, FPL, will keep growing. So for whatever you consume. Having a system bigger, like 86% of the demand, also limit the increase of cost of FPL, because we are able to cover the majority of the consumption. So this is calculated in the maximum consumption, and during the year, considering coverage or during the night, we are not charging, of course, but this will give the better return of investment as in the long term, where you are going, instead to have 150,000, you have 242,000. So there is all this number in green are starting being positive number you can count. So the system is paid in the year 14 or in the year 15. The initial amount is different because exactly we have is 86% or 57. So this is actually to discuss with the administration, because maybe it's easier to pass a bill for $50,000 than for 81,000. But then looking on the long run, there is also the return and the gain is different. For the other project, I think the coverage was already 100%.
This is the one for the this administration.
Yes. This is the extended one. So this is the 80,000 where you see both sides of the roof are covered.
Mhm.
And that way you are still gaining kind of coverage and things, but it's cost more, and is considered this part facing north is less efficient. The other thing we were thinking about, because this building is facing the main street, it may be also a kind of good trademark about the green and solar of the community.
Yeah.
So when you put in the community center is kind of something inside the park where you don't see really nothing because the flat roof. Here will be a kind of promotional of the green print and sustainable thing. So
Definitely.
it will give us some image, besides give really some advantage. I was looking right away about this parking lot. I was thinking why we don't cover with solar panels. We have the shadow and thing. There is an extra cost because the structure, but still is a kind of efficient way. Still to see what is the reaction of the commission about this idea, and thinking this is a kind of basic proposal with concrete return of investment. They can be absorbed if the government or the bill now passed by the government can give some extra help. So possibly these numbers are kind of rough, but can be smoother by some help for sure.
So explain when you say parking lot, what,
So you
I don't
see
know what that's.
this surface here where there is all the car parked. Technically, you can put a covering roof, right, to make some shadow. But the covering roof can be made by solar panel.
Okay.
So you have a really high exposure area, and it's producing electricity. So in that way, you even thinking about the electrical car and thing, because maybe one day will be even mandatory to have some recharging point in Biscayne Park.
Yeah.
Making a sustainable recharging point can be even a better thing.
Okay.
So this was the point. The other project
On the village admin building, was there a possibility of doing a ground mounted system since we have all that green area there instead of putting it on the roof?
This I didn't discuss because I don't know if we work with the property about that and things. It may probably is possible because it's like what is doing FPL in Homestead and things, like kind of huge surface area. But I didn't discuss about that because I don't know if this is some area where they want maybe something in the future on things. I don't know that.
I don't think so. I think that, well, part of it is septic. Part of it is a septic tank, and because it's like the elevator is septic and then there's a drain field, but I think part of it, there's just nothing there. So that would be something interesting to know.
This was the other project where we can cover the 100% of the bill for this building. But as you see, there is still room in the other roof or this roof to put extra panel. So in case Biscayne Park can become one entity for FPL, it may be worth to invest in this area because you have the best exposure for the sun, and then you're creating a lot of credit in kilowatts can be used also for the other building. So it is economically speaking. There is no big return of image because you don't see that, but it's one of the most interesting area here. About the calculation, I think was the year 14. Yeah, year 14. So the investment was around 69,000, and but this is covering 100%. So most probably you go more to the positive side, and then at the end of the 30 years, we are again something like 200,000. Look in the projection, what can be the bill.
Now, so that the 200 what is it? 274,000?
224.
What is that 224,000? That's how much money we saved
From
now until then?
Should be this money saved. The point is, I should have the Excel.
Because FPL doesn't pay you money. FPL just gives you a credit.
No, exactly. But the
Or-
point is, when you pay your system,
Right.
at that point, you don't pay the electrical bill.
Correct.
So it's kind of virtual money.
Okay, so it's avoided cost, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's put it there.
Got Got it.
You still have power, but you
Right.
don't pay any more.
So the budget, it has to be in the budget. If it's not in the budget, then, I mean, they come up with money. There is money. We have money. We have money in reserve. We have money. I mean, especially now with the property values, the village has money. But if it's not in the budget, I think they would have to figure out a spot in, like, for an existing kind of like pool of money in the budget that they could get. Like they did this, the multimedia system. It's like 15 grand that they just like, it came from a budget for media, which I don't know if it was like specifically for the system or it's just kind of like a general tech budget or whatever. So whatever budget they have for, I don't know, building maintenance or emergency response, they could probably, they would just have to find where that budget would come from.
Or put it on a new budget for a new year.
Or put it on the budget for next, for 2023, yeah. Yeah.
How do we get this proposed? That's like a great presentation. Who are the gatekeepers?
I mean, basically, a commissioner would have to be the one that's like cheerleading for us on that and bringing it, proposing it to the commission to put it on the.
Yeah, beside the dimension of this project, thing should be asked to us to the village manager if there is some money pending there outside. So have a look at that. If there is any kind of financing, and then possibly discuss with FPL if this position would be acceptable like one entity for the bill, because this will open possibility about the installation you are going to plan. At that moment, we are still thinking building by building. So you have the electrical bill for that building, how much you are covering. If this can be flexible or we can go over this kind of limit, it may be worth to invest a little bit in that system because you're covering other bills. So it's like, yeah, you have shorter, you're over dimensioning a system more than the 100% you need, but you really create a kind of green power plant for Biscayne Park. So this will be the idea. And I don't know now what will be the incentive from the government about go for sustainable solution, but for sure the cost of electricity is keep growing.
Yeah, I mean, FPL just, the Public Service Commission just approved the 20% rate increase over the next 2 or 3 years. So that's going to keep happening. I mean, they're using some of that to finance solar installations, but they're also using a separate huge rate increase to finance fuel costs, which is not something we want to be financing.
Yeah.
So maybe I think the next thing would be if you could set up a time to talk to Mario and just kind of feel him out to see how that.
These are to happen during this kind of ecology meeting, or we just
No.
have a meeting with him and presenting.
I mean, it would have to be just one of us. It would have to be you to meet with him, and then whatever whatever you find.
The one thing I would like to ask, would that work between us? Because I saw this problem, we cannot communicate officially together and things. No. So we have a kind of 4 heroes. They meet only once per month. We don't know anything about before. It makes sense. Is this really an organization? No, but I understand, but is how we can make progress. I think maybe there is something we are exaggerating. I understand the ethic, the coffee, whatever you want, but what is the meaning to have an ecology board? Then, like 4 friends, they meet one time per month to talk about what we didn't prepare before and things. So, I would really like to understand what are the limit and thing, because make no sense. It's like the commissioner, they never talk each other until one day per month. And that day they have to solve everything. They have no idea what they are going to talk. If I do something like that with my company, I not prepare the people to the audit for what I'm going to talk.
You can provide us information so that we're prepared to talk today, but you just.
Yeah, the clerk, yes.
It just has to go to the clerk.
Has to go through the clerk, has to be copied, and all of us can be copy. You can't just copy one person because then it
Yeah.
would be not sharing with everyone.
Yeah.
No, no.
No, I think it has to go to the clerk
The
and
clerk only.
then she has to
Distribute.
resend it out to everybody else. Yeah. Yeah, that's my understanding. I agree with you 100%. It's just, I don't really know if there's a way, not that there's a way around it. I don't know what the extent of that ethics, blue sky law is. I really don't.
Because it's really complicating whatever simple things.
Well, we're supposed to have some kind of like an orientation or something with the Miami-Dade ethics board. They usually come once or twice a year to give boards those informations. So whenever that is, we're supposed to have one soon. Whenever that is, we would want to go to that and ask that question directly to the ethics people. And they have an email. You can email them too. I emailed them actually because I emailed them about this, and it's pretty strict. I mean, it's pretty strict. There's almost nothing that you can do. I mean, it's like. I think it's just the nature of.
Yeah, but it's really like the machine to procrastinate whatever thing.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like I love USA because it's young and fast. And the thing happen here. Now we are working to become like Italy, bureaucratic, slow, complicated. By the time you decide something, the occasional thing is just gone. Gone. So
I wouldn't get too discouraged about that. I mean, people are making things happen.
Yes.
Other communities are doing things in Florida, and they are happening. So I think we just have to be very strategic about those meetings. Like when you have that meeting with Mario, get as much information as you can. By the way, be prepared to hit a wall like right away. A lot of times when you talk to people, the answer is no right away. So like we just have to go in there and not take no for an answer and really understand how we can get money for something like this. Yeah.
I believe that the discussion I would like to do is like what kind of preparation of document you need to bring this to the commission
Right.
and have a discussion.
Right.
So like what is the border, what is the support you need?
Yeah.
Because I think this is the ecology board. We have an idea, we prepare something, then to go pass further still have to be the commission.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to remember too, the commission, I mean, it serves the people. So they have a priority list and they're not necessarily going to see this as a pressing issue. And we have flooding that's happening. We have a lot of things that are happening so the urgency, I think, is going to be that there's the opportunity to probably get funding for this very soon from the government, but we have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Like we have to 100%, like these funding opportunities come really quickly. You have like a month to put a proposal in. And so we need to get this to the point where we have a proposal that's to the format, whatever it needs to be, so that we can submit it to the state and we can get the funds. So I think that's exactly. Yeah. I would go for the maximum and then see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any different to raise 30,000 or 70,000. It's just a matter of where the money comes from.
Yeah, I don't know really. Usually in the company, you have kind of approval power. So when you go over 100, it's out of Mario. The test is another is becoming Miami-Dade over 200. Go to another desk. So these usually make kind of difficult approval if it's not extremely clear or convenient. Let's put it like that.
No, I think the only I don't think that exists. I think the only thing that exists is that if it's over a certain amount, they have to get bids. If it's under a certain amount, they don't have to get bids, competitive bids. So if it's over maybe like $10,000, I think.
Even this project we are presenting, even if there is Geronimo on the back, whatever is the idea, have to be bids.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
It's not like we don't. We beat this idea, okay. what three companies they're proposing.
Correct. Yeah.
So this
We don't necessarily want to go with the cheapest one either, because the cheapest one is not always the best either. So
usually, yeah. But this will be the commission deciding.
Yeah.
We can support, but
I mean, I think I would feel out commissioners and see if somebody wants to champion the project, and then talk to Mario just to get an idea of.
so I should proceed asking a meeting with Mario and
I think it would probably be better with the commissioner first, because they're going to be the ones to know like how the mechanics are of getting something into a budget.
Mhm.
And Mario, he just does what the commission asks him
Okay.
to do. So he's obviously going to have to be in on the conversation. But I mean, you're going to have to talk to both of them, but maybe it'd be good to get that information from the commissioner first.
the only commissioner more or less in touch is Kennedy.
Yeah, I mean, ask him. Maybe he has an idea of how that process works, and
Yeah.
help save some time.
But still, let's make an example. I asked him to meet a commissioner to propose something like that. I had to go to the clerk, telling, "Ciao, clerk. I would like to talk with somebody. I
No,
cannot
you don't have to
contact-
do that. You can go directly to the commissioner,
And why I can do that? I cannot talk directly with you.
because we're not in the same. The commission, like a commissioner, can't talk to another commission either, but they can talk to us. We can't talk to each other. Yeah. We have to worry about the things that we can control. Unfortunately, that not one of them. So that's great. That's a really good presentation. It's really, I mean,
Yeah, I don't take the credit.
we should.
There is Geronimo work.
Yeah, but I mean,
I was
the
just
fact that you made it happen.
Yeah.
We have to do this. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's not something that's even an option. It's
I complete my system, is up and running, working, is nice.
yeah,
You see the credit to the sunny day, you go
yeah.
within zero, so it's
So you
nice.
got yours to 100%. And mine's not, because it's covered by trees right now. So in the winter, it's only like 30%, but in the summer, it'll be like over 100%. So it's balanced. Yeah. So yeah, I think if you want to talk to them, and then we can talk about it again at the next. When is our next meeting? Is supposed to be? Were we gonna do a meeting so it's December 23rd,
I
the
I may be
Thursday.
in Italy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like
A
a couple
holiday.
days before Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not sure because the COVID situation, so I'm looking really at in the last minute.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Maybe we can do 2 meetings in January.
I will like much better. Yes.
I want to try and do 2 meetings in January. So let's we can follow up. Kate, could you follow up with the clerk to see, maybe we can present some days, like, so we can give it to her. Let's see what days we have.
If you can connect to Biscayne Park calendar, you see.
That's
there.
what I'm looking. Yeah, let's see the calendar.
Our normal meeting day is what, the third
Third Tuesday.
Tuesday, so that next month would be the 18th.
Is January up yet? Oh, they don't even have it filled out yet. So 'cause the commission meeting is the first Tuesday of the month, right? Oh no, is it twice a month or once?
One,
First Tuesday of the month? Or the first Monday?
Tuesday.
First Tuesday. That'd be the fourth. So maybe we can meet on the Tuesday, the 11th, and Tuesday, the 25th. Would that work for everybody?
If I go to Italy, I should be back on 6. So yes.
Yeah.
If I don't go, I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, so I can do that week. I can work around. I mean, so let's say Tuesday the 25th, we have it no matter what.
Yeah.
So that week of the 10th through the 14th, if we can have them give us another day that week.
I'm okay for the 11th, also because if I'm leaving really next week, I don't think I have time to meet with the commission and team, but I can communicate via email and open.
Yeah.
Because I was listening the other day with the commissioning meeting.
Mhm.
They're really talking a lot detail. I think the first step we just ask if they want open a discussion about, and then for the next meeting that do we start the discussion.
Well, all you need is one commissioner. You don't need every commissioner to
No.
be on board. One commissioner brings up the agenda item, and then they all discuss it.
Okay.
So we just need to have one commissioner that's open to having them discuss that. But I mean, it's going to be a process. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. I mean, it's going to be probably going to be a year, but we have to get it started.
And do you think Mario, somebody, the commissioner, have the power to see if other community like Hollywood and thing, they already start doing something like that? And there is some public funding, they can.
We can do that. We don't need them to do that. I would do that if you can. You know who's really big on that is South Miami, the city of South Miami. They're really big on sustainability, and I think they might have done something with solar.
Because
in the municipal.
I think talking with Geronimo, FPL is opening huge power plant in Homestead. So in this empty space, they make like a power plant. So
Like solar, you mean?
yes.
So are we proposing January 11th and
Yeah.
25th? I'll have to confirm with the clerk. I think there's a conflict on that first day
Yeah.
with one of the other boards.
Yeah, if it, I mean, for me, any day that week's works. I don't know if you have any specific conflicts that week, but I mean, second choice, let's say maybe Thursday of that week. If that works. Does that work for you, Kate?
Tuesday and
Or-
Thursday.
Yeah, if you check the village of, I mean, the city of South Miami, because they have a lot going on with solar. Yeah, actually, I'm looking here. They have a solar panel installation program for city residents. So it's like a bidding thing that they did, like a group purchase plan.
I'll
Alright.
propose those, and then
Yeah.
if there's doesn't work, then she can reach out and provide us other dates.
Okay.
I have to,
Yeah.
if there's anything else to get going.
No, that was actually it. That was actually it. I didn't have anything else. Anybody else have anything else? Yeah. Great job. Make it happen. We have to have patience in the process. We have to have faith and patience. That's right. Yeah, exactly. We will. All right.
I think it's extremely feasible. So I hope
Yeah.
we will proceed.
It is. It is.
All right, so I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor to adjourn?
Yeah.
Do it. All right. Él se portó muy bien.
Como un político.
Así es. Yeah, good to see you too, finally. Thank you.
Bye.
You behave so well.
Ciao.
I still would not sat still like that.
Thank you for your computer. Save the situation.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, you
See
too.
another time.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
I sent it to you. I just don't remember.
So for the next one, we send case.
That's what I understand. Yeah, she said that, but I think we have to send it to her.